Welcome to the dashboard of the EZConnect program. In today's short clip, we're going to be discussing how to utilize some important loss prevention features that EZConnect has to offer. To access the Loss Prevention tab, please select Loss Prevention near the top of the window. This is the Loss Prevention tab. Today, we're going to cover three important options that are vital in managing loss prevention, whether you own many stores or just one. I'll show you how to compare stores with hard percent data, compare employees within a store, and then actually review individual transactions of a potentially suspicious acting employee. There are three main steps to reviewing your organization. If you own a couple or many stores, you should first select the option Loss Prevention by Store, located in the top left panel of options. First, let's select the time frame of the past 7 days and include all stores in the Filters panel on the bottom left. This is a list of all of your stores and vital information to help you compare these stores. Before we go over this data, let's first establish that the data presented represents total figures only within the time frame selected in the filters. From left to right, the location column shows you the store number. The sales column denotes the dollar amount of total sales that store has made in the time period you have selected. Cust, short for customer, shows the amount of customers that store has served. Void represents the amount of transactions that have included a void. Percent void represents the percentage of transactions out of total transactions that had at least one void. LP number represents the number of red flag transactions the system has discovered. Number negative transactions represents the amount of transactions that ended in a negative balance. Number of negative items represents the total amount of individual items that were voided. The less than dollar column represents the amount of transactions that ended with a total of less than or equal to $1. Total hours represents the total amount of hours all employees have worked. Total core, or total corrected items, represents the percentage of total sales of voided items versus positive items. For example, if a store sold $500 worth of goods and $100 worth of goods within all the transactions were voided, then the store would have a 20% in this column. Since out of every $500 the store has made, it has also had $100 worth of voids, or negative items due to mistakes or possible theft. Average items shows the average amount of items sold in each transaction for that store. Average transaction shows how much money an average transaction yields within this store. If you would like to export this data into an easy-to-read Excel sheet or print this data out, please select one of the icons located at the bottom. Since a store located in one area may yield more total sales and customers, the most important columns to take into account are the percent void and total corrected items, since both of these data columns are composed of percents and are not biased towards sale amounts. Let's check out this store. It has about an average void percent and an average total corrected items, but it also handles over $13,000 a week, which makes it a high priority loss prevention investigation. To investigate the store, let's go to the filter column. Let's select the store we would like to investigate and then select the second step in analyzing loss prevention, which is the LP report by employee. Now, we will track down some reasons why this store has the percent of suspicious activity that it does. Here, we have a list of employees that work in this store. This is a similar data setup with a few exceptions. First, the data presented is in regards to each employee, not store. Next, we have a few additions: the amount of employee meals, employee meal cost, and the amount of discounts the employee has distributed, to name a few. We compare employee reports similar to how we compare reports by stores. Let's try this now. The employee with a high percent void and a high percent total corrected items picks up the most red flags, even more so if they handle more sales. Once again, percent void refers to the amount of transactions out of the total transactions that have included a void, and total corrected items is the percent in dollar amounts of the total sales that were lost in a void. To investigate an employee that has picked up many red flags, such as percent void, percent total corrected items, or LP number, simply right-click anywhere in that row and select Suspicious Transactions. This is the third main step for analyzing your stores. This step allows you to review individual transactions that the system has flagged for possible problems. You can also access this step by using the Filters panel to select a specific employee or store, which is located at the bottom left, and then selecting Suspicious Transactions at the top left. To look through transactions and receipts, simply select the transaction you would like to review. A receipt will pop up on the right. When you find a transaction that is suspicious, like this one, perhaps you should investigate it. Here, you see 2 sandwiches being voided and what appears to be just 1 bag of chips. The estimated loss, which means the total dollar amount of items voided in this transaction, is also quite high. Let's take a look at this. To review the video of the transaction, right-click on the transaction and select Show Video. Here you see at least 3 sandwiches and other accessories being sold. However, according to the receipt, only 1 bag of chips is sold. To view the transaction at different angles, just pull out the camera list on your right and drag and drop other cameras. The client walks away with 3 sandwiches but only officially paid for a bag of chips. Definitely suspicious. To review this transaction again, simply press the play button in the bottom right-hand corner. To view a previous or next transaction, select the previous or next transaction options, then select play. To review how to use filters, record separate media files of events for later use, or the basics of the program, please watch our other videos located on the EZConnect website. EZConnect, managing made easy.